Dear Radiant Leo, noble heart of the zodiac, leader of warmth and truth, let me ask you something bold. Have you recently felt a presence near you at night? Something you can't quite explain but can't deny either? If so, this is not just a passing feeling. This is a sign. A strange energy has entered your home while you sleep, and heaven wants you to see the truth. If you're watching this video right now, understand this clearly: you were never meant to miss this moment. This is not random. You were called. Whether through intuition, a strange dream, or a restless night, you arrived here because your soul is ready to see what it once ignored. You are not alone, Leo. And you are certainly not powerless. The universe doesn't whisper lightly to lions. It only speaks when the time has come for truth, courage, and deep spiritual awakening. Right now, as the stars shift and the sun, your ruling force, moves through shadowed alignments, the energetic veil around you is thinner. You may have noticed it. Waking at 3 a.m. without knowing why. A chill in your room despite no open windows. A repeated dream. A heaviness in the air that doesn't belong to you. This is no accident. Something has moved through your energetic doorway. And it's not meant to harm you, but it does ask to be seen. In today's reading, we're going to explore what this energy is, how to protect your sacred space, and why you, specifically you, Leo, have been chosen as a guardian of spiritual light in your family, your home, and your community. This isn't just about superstition. This is about reclaiming the sovereignty of your inner temple. Your home is not just where you sleep. It's where your spirit recharges, where your power rebuilds. And lately, something has been off. Haven't you felt it? The slight unease when the lights go out. The arguments that come from nowhere. The fatigue that lingers even after rest. All of these are signs, cosmic clues waiting for you to decode them. But don't worry. You are more protected than you think. You are more intuitive than you believe. And you are stronger than even your shadow knows. The universe doesn't just expose darkness, it hands you the torch to illuminate it. And that's what we're going to do together right here, right now. Before we begin this deeper journey, let me pause and say, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your likes, your comments, your subscriptions, your energy. Every interaction you offer becomes part of a spiritual thread that weaves this channel into a soul family. Eternal mindfulness is not just a name, it's a shared space of awakening. And dear Leo, I promise you what's coming in this reading will change the way you see your surroundings, your relationships, and your own energetic fire. You'll want to stay with me to the very last moment of this message, because what the universe is revealing is nothing short of remarkable. Now tell me, what led your lion heart here today? What made your soul stop and listen? Type your name in the comments, and write these words as a commitment: I choose the light. I am awakening. Let the universe see you. Let the shadows know you're not afraid. And let's begin. For a Leo ruled by the sun and born to lead with warmth, presence, and fierce heart, moments of unseen tension and restless nights don't arrive without meaning. If in recent days you found yourself waking between the sacred hours of 2 to 4 a.m., if the silence of your room has felt heavy rather than peaceful, if dreams have taken on strange shapes or left you with a lingering unease you can't quite place, you are not imagining things. These experiences are not random interruptions. They are messages. Gentle taps on the shoulder from the invisible flow of energy around you, asking you to pay attention. In the language of the cosmos, Leo is a sign of visible strength, of roaring vitality, of solar clarity. But when your inner sun is too exposed or unguarded, it can attract more than admiration. Just like the brightest flame draws both warm seekers and shadow dwellers, your presence can unknowingly become a magnet for energy that doesn't belong to you. This is not a curse, it's simply a reminder. Even the strongest lions must sometimes step back into the stillness, notice the movements behind the veil, and gently close the doors left open too long. Astrologically, when the Sun, the planetary ruler of Leo, forms oppositions or squares in your chart, especially during this phase of the lunar cycle, the energetic equilibrium can shift. You might begin to feel the subtle unraveling of what was once stable. And it often begins at home, within the walls meant to protect you. The home is not just physical structure, it is an energetic imprint of your state of being. Every conversation, every object, every forgotten corner holds vibration. And when your spirit becomes too distracted, those vibrations can settle into the atmosphere unnoticed until they begin to whisper through dreams and silence. If you felt like you're being watched while alone, or experienced a chilling breeze without a draft, it could be your own heightened sensitivity noticing an imbalance. Not every presence is a being, often, it's just residual energy, thoughts left behind, emotions not fully released, patterns repeating like echoes. But your intuition, Leo, is sharp. And lately, it's been telling you that something doesn't feel quite right. The feeling of being unsettled is your inner sun trying to cast light into hidden spaces. Tarot confirms this shift. The moon appears when uncertainty clouds the truth, when the subconscious tries to speak through dreams and symbols. The Hermit reversed reminds us that isolation isn't always clarity. Sometimes we're hiding from what we need to confront. And the Queen of Wands in reverse speaks of a loss of inner fire, a dimming confidence, a power that's been temporarily misplaced. These cards don't accuse, they awaken. They ask, are you seeing clearly? Are you protecting what nourishes you? Are you honoring your inner sanctuary? Your bedroom is the most sacred portal of your home. It's where your soul returns to rest, where your energetic body softens and regenerates. So when the atmosphere in this space becomes heavy, scattered, or cold, it's a call to reset. It's time to look at the objects you keep near your bed. The colors on your walls. The corner you haven't touched in months. Color, after all, holds frequency. Deep purples and dark reds, while powerful, can weigh down the natural Leo spark if overused in places of rest. Gentle shades of warm ivory, soft orange, and luminous white silver tend to elevate the heart and calm the solar plexus. There is nothing to fear in these signs, only something to witness. When we begin to truly see what surrounds us, we reclaim the power to change it. Stillness becomes clarity. The breath becomes protection. As you continue this journey, allow yourself to become the observer of your own space. Notice not only what's missing, but what no longer belongs. And from that awareness, begin the soft ritual of renewal. This is how the lion rises, not in battle, but in illumination. When you've begun to notice that the energy in your home feels strange when your rest is disrupted, your dreams become uneasy, or a once familiar space starts to feel emotionally heavy, there comes a moment where clarity must meet action. This is that moment. You've already opened your awareness to something subtle yet persistent around you. And now, dear Leo, it's time to reclaim your space as sacred. As a fire sign ruled by the sun, your energy is naturally radiant. You light up every room you walk into, and your home, too, carries the imprint of your vitality. But just like any flame, your brightness can dim when unattended, especially if external vibrations begin to settle without permission. What enters your space physically or emotionally has weight. Unspoken words, broken promises, even objects tied to past experiences, all of them can linger and subtly influence how you feel, sleep, or think. The key now is not to fear these changes, but to cleanse with mindfulness and grace. Energy cleansing is not about superstition. It is a conscious act of presence. It is you, standing in your own authority, choosing what deserves to stay and what must be released. And it begins with observation. Start by walking through your home as if you've never lived there before. Where does your body tighten? Which corner feels dense or forgotten? What object do you walk past every day but never touch? Sometimes it's an old picture frame from a past relationship, a gift you never resonated with, or even a pile of things you've been meaning to get rid of. These items may hold residual memory, and while the mind forgets, the energy field remembers. Begin gently. Light a white candle not as a symbol of protection, but as a reminder that light begins within. If you have sea salt or even a bowl of warm salt water, place it in the area that feels heavy. Salt, by nature, absorbs and neutralizes. A small bell or a soft chime can help shift stagnant energy through sound vibration. And if you have none of these things, don't worry. Your breath, your awareness, and your intention are more than enough. Stand still in front of that space, close your eyes, and take a long breath. Then softly whisper to the room, "This space returns to clarity. May peace return here." Each breath becomes an offering. Each word becomes an anchor. One powerful practice is to face any mirror and speak directly to your reflection, "I am the light. This home is the flame of my soul." The act of saying this aloud while seeing your own eyes ignites something deep. It's not about convincing yourself, it's about remembering. You were never disconnected. You were simply being called to look again, to see with presence. Numerology also brings guidance here. The number 4 offers structure and grounding. It reminds you to create boundaries, both physical and emotional. The number 9 speaks of letting goof cycles ending so that healing may begin. And the number 1 whispers of your sovereignty, the undeniable truth that you are the source of what enters or leaves your world. When you combine these numbers into action, what you are doing is reclaiming authorship over your life's environment. There is a wisdom that teaches us, peace does not arrive from the outside and it grows from the inside out. And that the space we inhabit is only as calm as the space within us. When we sweep the floor mindfully, when we open the window with intention, we are also sweeping the dust from our thoughts, opening new airways in our own spirit. Cleansing becomes not just a ritual, but a way of aligning the visible with the invisible. And from this alignment, Leo, your light begins to burn even brighter, not to defend, but to illuminate. Sometimes the energy we need to protect ourselves from doesn't come from the unseen, but from the familiar. From the smile that feels just a little too tight. The compliment that lands with a subtle sting. The person who always seems to be there but somehow, after every interaction, leaves us feeling drained, smaller, unsure of ourselves. And if you've noticed this pattern lately, Leo, then you are being invited to awaken to a deeper truth. Not every hand that reaches toward you does so with love. Some reach with comparison, with projection, with envy disguised as care. As a Leo, you naturally shine. You don't have to try. Your warmth, your charisma, your ability to lead and inspire it radiates effortlessly. But this light you carry, this internal sun, can become a mirror for others. It reflects back not just beauty and joy, but also the shadows they haven't yet faced in themselves. And often, they don't even realize they're projecting it. But you feel it. Not in the mind but in the body. A headache that comes after seeing someone. A sudden drop in mood. That heavy pause in your chest after a conversation that was supposed to be light. This isn't about blame. It's about clarity. The energy of envy is subtle. It doesn't always announce itself with hostility. More often, it cloaks itself in helpfulness, in flattery, in silent loyalty. But if your inner fire begins to dim in someone's presence, if you start questioning your worth, your choices, or your direction after being with them, that's no longer coincidence. That's resonance. Your system is signaling that something doesn't align. Tarot echoes this beautifully. The Seven of Swords often appears when something deceptive is unfolding. Not necessarily malicious but misaligned, unspoken, and possibly self-serving. The devil warns us about the power dynamics we unconsciously allow, the emotional bonds that seem familiar but subtly bind us. And the reversed Page of Cups reminds us to pay attention to the immature emotional patterns around us, jealousy, possessiveness, or passive aggression dressed up as affection. These are not judgments. They are observations. And the point is not to attack, but to understand. From a cosmic point of view, this is an opportunity for refinement. Relationships are mirrors, and some are meant to show us not who we are, but who we no longer need to be. And here's where a deeper practice begins. Instead of reacting or confronting, you simply draw a boundary. Not to punish, but to preserve. You limit your energy. You speak less, listen more. You step back just enough to regain your own voice. This is not withdrawal, it is conscious compassion. You allow others the space to rise to their own growth while honoring your own. Just like the teachings that speak of guarding one's inner peace like one would guard a flame in the wind, this moment asks you to practice discernment without attachment. You don't need to explain your choices to anyone whose energy constantly unsettles yours. You don't owe presents to those who repeatedly chip away at your spirit under the guise of closeness. What you do owe yourself is honesty. Gentle, clear, grounded honesty. So if someone in your life has been leaving you feeling more confused than comforted, more exhausted than empowered, it may be time to quietly, without drama, reclaim the space between you. You don't have to shut the door completely. But you can close it gently enough to hear your own breath again. And in that stillness, you'll find that your light hasn't gone anywhere. It was simply waiting to be protected. When we begin to clear our space physically and energetically, something deeper often begins to stir. It's not just that the air feels lighter or the sleep becomes more restful. It's that we finally begin to hear what was always quietly present. For many of you, as you've started to notice strange feelings in your home or sudden waves of emotion you can't trace back to anything recent, You may have also begun sensing a presence that feels both distant and familiar. A warmth that flickers just at the edge of awareness, often strongest during quiet hours of the night. This is not imagination. This is memory without words. It is the echo of someone you loved, someone who loved you, still gently watching over you from beyond the veil of this lifetime. In moments of emotional turbulence, or when your mind is restless but can't find the reason, that presence may be stronger. Some call it legacy, others call it protection. What matters most is the feeling of being seen when no one else is looking, of being comforted in a way no living voice could replicate. For Leo especially, whose heart beats with fierce loyalty and deep ties to family, these connections run deeper than time. Often, the person who held you in life, your mother, grandmother, father, or a guiding elder, continues to hold space for you even now. Their energy doesn't vanish. It transforms. And sometimes, when your light begins to dim, they draw closer to remind you of who you are. But this isn't only about you. Energy moves through generations. When a Leo rises, they rarely do so alone. There's always someone younger in their orbit, perhaps your child, your sibling, your niece or nephew, who walks in your light. And just as you've been sensing shifts in your space, you may have also noticed subtle changes in this young one. Their eyes seem tired. Their moods fluctuate without reason. Their confidence flickers like a candle in the wind. They may be absorbing more than they know through screens, friendships, or unspoken family tensions, and because they haven't yet developed the tools to filter what reaches them, they carry it inside. This is where your role evolves. You are not just protecting your own energy, you're anchoring it for someone else. There's an old teaching that says, when one person in the family awakens, 7 generations are healed. And you, Leo, are being asked to become that healing force, not through force, but through gentle attention. Sometimes it's not about what you say to them. It's what you emanate when you are centered. Peace is contagious, and the steadiness of your breath can become their shelter when words fall short. One way to begin is simple. Light a candle. Sit quietly. Place your hand over your heart and, with a soft whisper, speak these words not to the air, but to the thread of energy that binds you to this young soul. I send light to protect you. May everything that doesn't belong to your peace fall away. You don't need complex rituals. What matters most is presence, real, grounded, steady presence. The kind that says, I see you even when you cannot see yourself. Certain colors support this process. Emerald green to stabilize the heart. Pure white to reflect clarity. Gold to reawaken confidence and resilience. These are not just aesthetic choices, they are frequencies. Surrounding your space and theirs with these tones can create an invisible framework of calm and assurance. As the Empress reminds us in the Tarot, nurturing energy is not a weakness, it is a strength that holds kingdoms together. The star offers guidance through darkness, even when the path is not yet clear. And the sun, your guiding card, promises joy and truth not just for you, but for those who walk behind you. When you rise, they rise too. And when you choose to become light, your very presence becomes a shield for those who haven't yet found their own. There comes a moment in every soul's path when holding on begins to weigh more than letting go. And for you, Leo, that moment might be now. Not because you've failed or lost anything, but because life itself is making space for something greater. The signs are subtle at first. A relationship that once felt aligned now feels forced. A friendship begins to feel like a performance. A place you once felt at home suddenly no longer fits your breath. These moments are not accidents. They are signals that a new cycle is arriving, and with it, a gentle invitation to release what no longer honors who you are becoming. It's easy to believe that because someone entered our lives early, they're meant to stay until the end. But timing doesn't equal destiny. And presence doesn't always mean purpose. Some people are here to walk a few chapters with us, to teach us, challenge us, mirror us. And once the lesson is complete, the connection starts to fade, not out of malice, but out of natural evolution. The seasons shift, and we are not meant to cling to fallen leaves when spring is asking us to grow again. In the language of the cosmos, the current energy is one of recalibration. The universe, through quiet rearrangements, is encouraging you to declutter not just your home, but your emotional ecosystem. You may have noticed this in the way certain people drain you without explanation, or how old conversations suddenly feel hollow. This is not judgment, it's awareness. A new chapter cannot begin if the page before it remains clutched too tightly. Tarot affirms this beautifully. The Death card does not predict loss, it announces transformation. It is the breath between endings and beginnings. It's the silence that precedes the first word of a new story. The Wheel of Fortune reminds you that cycles exist for a reason, and resisting the turn only causes stagnation. And Judgment asks you to look honestly at your life, not from a place of blame, but from clarity. What have you outgrown, not because of arrogance, but because of expansion? Numerology offers guidance too. The number 10 signifies completion, a full circle drawn. The number 21 reflects awakening, the moment we step out of the dream of familiarity and begin to see with new eyes. And 11? It is the master number of intuition, of spiritual evolution, of crossing a threshold. When these numbers align, you're being told not just to notice change, but to move with it. To bow, gently, to what no longer fits, and with open palms, welcome what's waiting. There is an old teaching that reminds us, we do not lose people, we release roles. When you let go of someone who no longer sees you fully, you are not discarding love. You are honoring truth. And in that truth is freedom, the kind that doesn't require explanation or defense. Only a quiet knowing that the most compassionate thing you can do for yourself and for others is to stop pretending everything still fits. This is your moment to choose presence over obligation. To walk forward without resentment, even if that means walking alone for a time. Because you are not actually alone. You are accompanied by every version of yourself that had the courage to grow. And from that place, you become magnetic to what is real, people who match your frequency, relationships rooted in mutual expansion, and paths that were waiting for you to be ready. So as this new cycle knocks, answer not with fear, but with breath. Say goodbye, not in anger, but in peace. Because in saying farewell to what was false, you make room for what is finally true. And that, Leo, is the fire you were always meant to carry. And so, dear Leo, as we come to the end of this sacred moment together, take a breath and truly feel the journey you've just walked through. What we explored today wasn't just information, it was a mirror. A reflection of your strength, your intuition, your radiant spirit that continues to burn even when the world grows cold. You may have felt under attack lately, not by direct conflict, but by invisible weight, subtle shifts in energy, or people whose smiles no longer match their intentions. But let this truth settle deep into your heart. You are not under attack because you are weak. You are being challenged because your light is powerful. So powerful that it unsettles what's not ready to grow. So magnetic that it draws both truth and shadow to the surface. But you, Leo, were never meant to dim. You are not here to hide your fire. You are here to shine, not recklessly, but wisely. Not to burn others, but to warm and guide. And that begins with you choosing every day to stand in your own truth, to protect your energy with intention, and to surround yourself only with what nourishes your soul. Whether that's through cleansing your space, setting boundaries with someone whose energy no longer aligns with yours, or becoming a quiet source of peace for someone younger who needs your strength, every step you take becomes a ripple. A choice that rewrites your path, and invites clarity, protection, and authentic joy into your life. So I ask you gently, Leo, what are you still holding on to that no longer deserves your light? Who are you still making space for out of habit, not harmony? Have you recently felt a whisper in your dreams, a scent with no source, or a quiet warmth at your back when no one else was in the room? If so, maybe someone who once held you in love still walks beside you, unseen, encouraging you to let go of the weight and finally rise. Do you have the courage to walk away from what feels false, so you can walk toward what feels true? You are the fire that can never be put out. And as you step into this new cycle, remember that you're not just protecting your home or your peace. You are becoming a beacon for others, those who have lost direction, who need to witness someone living honestly, someone standing tall. You don't need a spotlight. Your authenticity is enough. If anything I shared today resonated with you, if you felt like I was speaking directly to something you've been quietly carrying, don't let it dissolve in silence. Let your voice echo back. I would love for you to comment below, I am the flame. I choose the light. Your words are not just declarations, they are anchors. They're part of this energetic circle we build together in this space. They affirm not only your intention, but your belonging in this journey of awakening. Thank you, from the depths of my heart, for spending this time with me. Your presence matters. Every like, every comment, every moment of engagement breathes life into this space we're creating here on Eternal Mindfulness. And if this message found you at just the right time, trust that more will follow. The universe has more to say, and when it does, I'll be right here to deliver it to you. So make sure you subscribe to Eternal Mindfulness if you haven't already. Turn on notifications, so that next time a message is meant for you, you'll be the first to know. Your journey doesn't end here. It deepens, expands, and glows a little brighter because you've chosen to say yes to your own light. Until next time, stay grounded, stay open, and never forget, you were born to shine.